we have the budget. Kawahna, would you like to speak on that again, please? The budget?
What do you?
Under the new business?
Okay.
Yeah, actually I'm looking for your dates and everything, and we need to get everything in back that you were saying.
Oh, let me go back to that. Okay, this is May the 30th, and council, everyone here has a copy of the proposed budget, except for Brandon, and we'll get one to him. If May the 31st, a copy needs to get to the Covington paper as well as the Allegheny Journal for them to have that printed by June the 4th. If council is okay with it, I can certainly take a copy up to the Allegheny Journal and to the Covington paper and make sure that it is printed by, on the 4th when they do that paperwork. And then by June the 6th, Jody will need to put an ad in the paper and at the Allegheny Journal that the town of Iron Gate is having a called meeting to conduct the public hearing on the proposed budget. And then we can also put signs up at the post office and at Twink's Diners, at the Rusty Hinge, and down here on the door. And then on June the 13th will be the called meeting for the public hearing. And then on the 17th, it's just our regular work session for council. And then on the 27th, that is the council meeting, and that's when we will adopt the new budget. I lost my train of thought here. Hold on just one second. Like I said, we have copies of everything here that we worked on, and this is a neat version, believe me. Ask Jody, she was trying to read my handwriting. We will be, this budget allows for a $1 increase to all residents on their water, as well as a $1 increase on all residents to their sewer, which will allow us to give our public works individual, the two gentlemen, Junior and Trey, a 3% raise that they have not had a raise, for 3 years. Our clerk treasurer is strictly per hour pay, and she has already notified council that she's going to be leaving, so that's going to leave us with having to find another clerk treasurer. And that's the question for Jared. If we hire someone, can you check to see if they leave before the year's up that they would need to reimburse the town for being bonded?
I guess it depends on when the bond was presented and how much it
Because
actually costs.
we paid out.
It's $100 for the bond.
And when did you get the bond?
No, we're talking about
A new
For
hire.
a
new hire, for a new clerk, or a new treasurer, that we pay the $100 on the bond, if we can put it in their hire contract, that if they leave within a year,
Yeah.
they have to pay the $100 back to the town.
Yeah, we can put it in there.
I didn't know if that was something that we were allowed to
Yeah, we can.
recoup or not.
Yeah, we can agree to anything, whatever that person would agree to.
Okay.
You might want to consider though, if it's like 6 months, would they pay $50 back or would they pay the whole 100, or what you would want to think about that.
Yeah. Well, we can always, council can discuss that. But as I said before, we waited for the water rates from Clifton. They were behind, and that threw us behind, and so we're trying to play catch up now, which is why I went and looked at my calendar to get all these specific dates so we fall within the timeline of this is when it's advertised and this is when we've got to have it, because there has to be 2 weeks between the public hearing and the council meeting. So, and for anyone else that is interested in refilling their position here on council, the last day that you can get your name to officially show up on the ballot, not as a write-in, is June the 18th at 7 p.m. up at the Rosedale office, where you can go to vote. And I dropped my paperwork off today to throw my name in the hat for mayor. So
Congratulations.
that's there, and I got it in time, and I think you're still thinking, and he's still thinking, and we're going to make Jennifer do it. That's all.
All right. Any questions about the budget? What's in the budget? I've got a question that I don't see in here, and that is something that I said I wanted back in there, which needs to be in there, is the mayor's stipend. From what I understand, it is an entitled stipend that is to be there if the mayor wants it. If he doesn't want it, he doesn't have to take it.
I think
Where is that information?
Jared?
I don't have the ordinance in front of me, but that's always been my understanding, was that it was in the budget, and I thought for everyone, and then voluntarily given up. Because you don't know if the person's going to voluntarily give it up until
they take off.
Would that also
until that
be,
budget year.
would that also have to be dictated by what the town's budget can afford or not?
I mean, I think that's sort of the idea of making the budget, is you've got to make those give and take of what's possible.
Well, it's,
The issue is, I'm not sure if the mayor's stipend is an ordinance, which I don't believe it is, or if it's just a policy.
Don't think.
But I think either way, the council would have to vote that it's no longer, it's basically no longer in the books, that the mayor should not expect to get a stipend when they are running for mayor. And I don't think that's the current expectation. I think the current expectation is the mayor would get a stipend if they were elected and served, and that's sort of the end of it.
And how much would it be each month?
I think it's $375 a month.
How much?
$375 a month. So 37, over 4,000 a year.
So in other words,
and then the mayor would have to file that as an income on their personal property, on their personal taxes.
Depending on how it's actually paid out,
Yeah.
potentially.
Well, I think that's the way it was in the past, that they had to file it with their taxes.
Yeah, if it gets paid as
Right.
income to the person, they would have to pay it.
Right.
But if it's
And,
used for other...
Or what's paid out?
well, it would come down to what the residents vote, I believe, and also how council votes. As I said before, you can't get blood out of a turnip. We're operating on a shoestring. We still robbing Peter to pay Paul in certain aspects of certain things, and
So let me ask you this question. Had I originally took the stipend from day one, originally, which was offered to me, which was actually, the words were, you are entitled to the $375 stipend. It is on the Allegheny Journal's video that I went back and watched today. And it is also on the January 2023 minutes, where it stated entitled to. And I said, no, I'm not going to take it, because I'm not in it for the money. And I'm still not looking to take the money, but I am tired of every time I try to do something for the public works, and I come and I ask to do something, I am told, no, there's no money in it, they don't need it. So therefore, I can take that money that is entitled to me, to my personal use, and I can spend it on our public works guys. I want it back in the budget.
I think it's a matter of, if that happens and you want it, then everybody agrees to give it, the 3% raise to the employees are not gonna happen. It's just not enough money, I mean.
It's a
just
question of
that
either
simple.
or. It's a question of either.
Well, I think we need to go back and look at it all over again then.
Well, that can be done if we are not under the time restraints that we're under.
I understand that, but you weren't even here and I wasn't even notified that we were having a meeting. Regardless if I rode by or not, I was not notified that we were having a budget meeting.
Well, I think we all need to get together and hash it out.
Well, we got to do it, and we got to do it tomorrow,
Yep. So,
because that's our only day along.
do you have to work tomorrow?
I do. I get off at 4:30.
That's not going to work, because it has to be in the.
Has to be in the post office for print on Tuesday so they can go in on Monday.
No, it can't.
On the 3rd.
No, it can't. They have to have it ahead of time. They have to have it ahead of time. Because by the time you take it up on the 3rd, they would have already, well, you could probably explain this with the paper. You all have already figured out your ads and everything of where it's going to be.
We have a Monday deadline at noon.
So Monday at noon it could be there, right?
I'd say like 11:55.
Okay, but it could be there Monday morning.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And I would also like to see when and where. I'm not against the stipend at all. Don't get that started. I'm all for it.
I'm not.
I'm all for it if we can afford it. There's no big deal. But I would like to see when and where the stipend is in the ordinance or wherever this is being written.
And I want to know why you feel that you have to purchase things for the town crew when the guys have said they don't need anything.
When the guys are going out there and they're wearing vests that are dirty and filthy, and because they have a vest, they say, no, I don't need a vest. It becomes unsafe when you wear a dirty, ranky vest.
Those vests can be washed, believe it or not. We washed 25 of them up in Clifton Forge when they were picking up the trash up there.
That's great,
They can be washed.
but regardless,
I'm against the stipend, I'm sorry.
well, that's fine, then you're one vote.
So when do you want to get together?
We can get
to do
together
it?
tomorrow evening, 5 o'clock. That's the earliest I can be here.
That work for you?
Yeah.
Jody, does tomorrow at 5 work for you?
Sure.
Okay. And I will see if Wendy's available as well.
Is she volunteering to do this or doing the hourly for it?
I do not know.
Well, I mean, if we've got this, we can go off of this. We don't need Wendy down here for this, to go over that part.
I don't know where we're going to cut to get the stipend.
Well, we'll discuss it, and if we don't, then we don't. But I said I wanted it looked at, and I know it wasn't looked at. The stipend was not even looked at. So therefore, we're gonna go back and we're gonna look.
Fine, we will do that.
And then we'll leave it to council to vote on. All right.
Okay.